Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to show you the Spray Paint the Walls book and review it. I showed this in a video a month or two ago when I was talking about the free stuff I got with this book, and then when I reached 24 subscribers, or 22 I think, not 25 now. Anyways, I'm going to just do a full-on review of that book, talking completely about it and everything in it. So yep, Spray Paint the Walls. There might be some rehashing in here since I already did a video kind of on this book, but I'm going to go into more detail this time. So, the cover is pretty cool with Henry Rollins screaming into a mic. On the back, you have Greg in live, and then all that. Alright, so, it's pretty good length. It's not too long. It's almost 400 pages. It's like around 300 something. 370-ish. So yeah, pretty good length. And yeah, some cool pictures of the band. So yeah, from every era. It's like it was actually them with when they're called Panic before they changed their name to Black Flag. When they had Keith Morris. So it's kind of hard to find pictures of the band with Keith Morris. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, and then there's like Ron Reyes era, Descadena. And yeah, more Descadena. And then here we have my favorite era, Henry Rollins era. It's definitely my favorite era of Black Flag, because that's when they started experimenting more. Yeah. There's a picture of Chuck Dukowski looking like he's taking a shit. It's kind of funny. Yeah. Oh, that's a really cool picture of Henry Rollins. But they're looking kind of crazy. Cool. And then there's more pictures. There's my favorite lineup from Black Flag, the 1984 era, like the Slip It In era Black Flag. Is definitely my favorite lineup from the band. So yeah. Oops. And then there's that last picture of Henry Rollins. They're in a weird position. So overall, out of 10, I would give this book like a 9. I really liked it. It was really entertaining, and I like how they didn't just focus on the band. They also talked about just the punk scene in general and how it was really close-minded and ignorant. I like how Black Flag got so much hate when they changed their sound, or like even when they were still really hardcore. And they're even like before they had Henry Rollins, when they were doing the Creepy Crawl tour. Since actually we're in this book, Black Flag, mostly Raymond Pettibon artwork. They take a lot of their imagery and stuff, just some of the stuff in their merch from like stuff about like the Manson family. So it was, when they were on the Creepy Crawl tour, when they went to the UK, like they got a lot of hate from British punk fans. So that's kind of funny. Yeah, or just British punks in general. But anyways, that was kind of weird. And it says this is a blood-splattered story on the back. I thought that was some sort of exaggeration, but it really isn't. At first I thought when punk bands sang about hating the cops or whatever, I'd be like, oh yeah, they hate the cops because they're being rebellious. Okay, that's just punk rock or whatever. No, I know why they hate cops now, because cops were assholes, basically, for reading this book. So basically, they'd just be playing a show, nothing bad would be happening, and then the cops would just crash the show and then arrest everybody and beat everybody up. So, that's kind of interesting. It's also kind of interesting to hear about, apparently when Black Flag started out, there were just 4 guys playing in a band or whatever, and then out of nowhere all these jocks started, getting, mohawks and crap and saying that they were punk, and that's basically what made up the LA punk scene, and not actual genuine people who like the music. So that's also kind of interesting, so then they started calling those kids HB kids. I think that stands for Hermosa Beach, obviously. So, but Black Flag formed Hermosa Beach, but they weren't that kind of sunshiny white people, basically, which is what you'd expect from people from Hermosa Beach, just stereotypically. But now they weren't those kind of people. It's funny because my dad always teases me that Black Flag are that nice band from Hermosa Beach, but they're not really that band. They're not all bright because they're obviously a really dark band. And Black Flag is my favorite band of all time. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of interesting. And also, when they get Harry Rollins, a lot of people didn't like Harry Rollins. Obviously, he's my favorite vocalist from the band, because I think he fitted the band's imagery the best. Because like Keith Morris was really good just for angry ranting or whatever, and then so was the guy after him, Ron Reyes, and what's his face, third singer for the band, Descadena. He was okay. I didn't like his vocal style because it was really raw, but at the same time he didn't have as much flexibility as a singer like Henry Rollins. Because Henry Rollins can scream his ass off, but he could also like whisper. He could also sound like he's going crazy. He could do a lot of stuff, but a lot of those other guys didn't have as much durability as a vocalist, which is one of the reasons I like Henry Rollins. And Henry Rollins portrays Greg Ginn's imagery really well, because it's like Greg Ginn, his lyrics were really dark, and then if you put that through Henry Rollins' aggressive filter, then you have like sort of the ultimate imagery, you know. Same as when they're talking about like Spot, their producer, said that, I think it was Spot, said that Henry Rollins ruined Black Flag, or like, and Greg Ginn was supposed to be like a huge control freak. Like he fired so many people from the band, like Bill Stevenson. I think Kara quit the band, if I remember correctly. Closely he fired. He fired a lot of people. Even when they had their reunion, I read at the end of the book, like they had a reunion, and then when Keith Morris was forming Flag, not Black Flag, but his cover band of Black, not really cover band, it's more of a tribute band of Black Flag. That's just called Flag. That's just a bunch of ex-members of Black Flag. He asked Greg Ginn if he wanted to join, and Greg Ginn basically just said, I'm only going to join if I can be in charge. So Greg Ginn apparently is a huge control freak. Also, Greg Ginn is one of my favorite guitar players, but it's kind of funny to hear that he's kind of a dick, basically. Or another thing that's funny is that apparently in Henry Rollins' book, Get in the Van, which I also want to read really bad, he talks about, like, apparently, according to that book, like, Greg Ginn was, like, a total, like, weed addict, which is kind of interesting. Like, I don't know, I guess you could see why he got so crazy with their music, and why a lot of it sounds really twisted. But then again, like, I wouldn't change anything about their career at all, except for them breaking up. Because really, all their albums are perfect to me, because they're, like, my favorite band, and, yeah. Anyways, really great book. I learned a lot about the band I never knew. I wish that I could learn a little more about My War. The weird thing about that album is that that's, like, my favorite album ever, but the weird thing about it is that, like, I feel like there's so much about that album that I don't know, even though I know so much about that album. Like, I know, like, I don't know, I have it on vinyl. I love the artwork and everything, but something about it, the album's just so mysterious. I think it's the production makes it that way. I don't know, I wish I could have learned a little bit more about that album in here. But yeah. They didn't focus a whole lot on the later era of the band. That was like the last 100 pages of the book. But, like, the first half of the book, like 3/4 of the book was them talking about just that early punk rock era of Black Flag that most people like the most. But honestly, I like the later era better. But anyways, so that was kind of interesting to learn about. They talked a lot about Damage, and the imagery they used for the album Damage actually made me like that album more, because originally I liked that album, but I didn't love it, and I'm starting to actually really like that album. I've been listening to it a lot lately since I read this book, because this book, the Prince personified that album. That's like, it was like that album was like a blood-splattered beast with like a mind of its own. And that sounded so cool, that made me want to listen to the album, and I listened to it, and that's kind of true. So Damage is a pretty ferocious album if you listen to it. It's really great, and you also learn about the background of a member, mostly when they talked about a member joining Black Flag. But mostly, like, it did this with a lot with Henry Rollins. They talked about, like, his childhood and stuff, and how he was, like, he was, like, kind of mentally disabled, and, like, how his dad was, I think, an alcoholic, and his dad was, like, really crazy, and, like, I think sent him to, like, military academy or something like that, and he had to take, like, these, like, the pills and stuff for his mental disability or whatever. That's really interesting. Basically, to hear how Henry Rollins got the way he is, and how he kind of unleashed that, like, monster inside him, basically, in Black Flag. Another reason why he's one of my favorite vocalists probably ever. It's also interesting to hear about the background of Kira, how she wasn't like she mostly joined a band, so it was like an ego thing, I guess. That was kind of interesting. I think that's what she said. It wasn't, a lot of people were like, or like when they released the album, they talked about a lot about this, when they released the album Slip It In, people thought it was like really sexist, and to an extent it was, but only towards groupies, basically. they were basically like talking shit about groupies. They weren't talking about shit about women in general, which is kind of interesting because although it was kind of questionable, I always thought that album was kind of questionable. But I didn't like to think about that because Black Flag's my favorite band. I wouldn't want to like realize something about them that would make me stop liking them. But I kind of understand that a little more. So that's kind of interesting to learn how like there's actually a meaning behind that album. They weren't just thinking about whatever, you know. So yeah, if you don't know, like basically that album, they weren't being sexist. They were just talking shit about groupies, basically. So yeah, that was interesting. They talked about that and people's reactions to it. Yeah, they got really screwed over with the unicorn thing. How like when they released Damage, there was all this controversy and they got sued. And basically towards the end of the book, it said that like if they hadn't gotten sued by Unicorn and if they had released an album right after Damage, right when they were just starting to evolve, when they still had Chuck Biscuits as their drummer, then that would have been, like, they said, like, Metallica would be an unnecessary move because Black Flag would be the heaviest band in the world if they had, like, perfect production. And honestly, I think that's really true. Because they started writing songs like My War and Slippin' In around that time. And if they had those in their really primitive forms before they got really, like, complex and long, then I think that would be a really good album. And I'd like to see how that album would turn out, but unfortunately we're never going to see that. But yeah, it'd be kind of interesting to see a Black Flag album with really good production. I mean, like, Loose Nut had really good production, but it was, oh no, it talks about, like, it kind of talks about how they improve with each, release. On My War, they were really good, but they didn't have, the production lacked punch. So I've heard that my dad's being weird. Yeah. And, anyways, yeah, on My War, they kind of lacked punch with the production, so then they kind of brought that in with Slip It In. But then on Loose Nut, they gained that venomous bite, and then they tried something completely new on In My Head, where they kind of had almost like a hard rock kind of sound. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting to learn, and that makes me want to buy more albums from Black Flag. Yeah, so I only have, first 4 years, Everything Went Black, Damage, My War, and Family Man. I'd really like to get In My Head or Loose Nut sometime. I saw Loose Nut at a record store I shop at. It's actually been a while since I've gotten a record, since I don't have any money right now. But, I don't know, that wasn't what I was looking for at the time. I might get it sometime, I don't know. I'd rather have it In My Head, I really want that one. I'll probably pick it up sometime. I've seen it on Revelation Records' website, which is actually where I ordered this book, too. But anyway, so overall, if you like Black Flag, or if you just like them a little bit, definitely read this book. It's really interesting, and I really like it. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.